It is so good to be back out camping.
Well, the park just opened yesterday, so here we are. First canoeing trip of the year.
It seems like we've been waiting an awfully long time. Our last trip was in February in the winter, where we camped at Norway Lake campground, and that gap between the end of sort of winter camping and the beginning of spring camping seems to take an awfully long time.
We had a little fun time canoeing up through the zigzags all up
Sunday Creek and paddle down. It's a nice paddle. It's very windy. The river was running quite quickly, so it's going to be interesting going back. It's kind of neat. You can see the visitor center from the river.
It's actually a very nice canoe right up through there.
We are camping on Norway Lake, which is just south of Highway 60 in Algonquin Provincial Park. There are 2 campsites on Norway Lake. We've camped here before on a site that's just over that way. It's sort of a 2-tiered site. It's got sort of a point that has a fire pit on it, which is really nice, a rocky point. And then you go up a bit and there's sort of where you keep your tents, and there's another fire pit. That's where we were originally planning on camping, but we got there and because of the wind, it didn't offer that much shelter. So we decided to check out the site that we're on right now, which is pretty nice. A little difficult to get out of the canoe and get up to it because it's all very steep, but it's still pretty nice. We still had the same problem with the wind, very little shelter. I struggled to get my tent hanging in the trees. At some point, Tim's tent got blown over. Something happened. There wasn't enough weight in the bottom. The pegs pulled out, and it sort of is just a big mess on the ground right now.
It was really windy. I didn't have anything in my tent. It kind of blew over a little bit.
Oh dear.
I'll fix it. It'll be fine.
We've sat and enjoyed the sun. I bought a hammock and tried that out. It was tricky getting that up in the wind, but it's nice lying in it. Tim sat in his chair reading.
We're expecting, I'll just say, terrible weather for the next couple of days. So today is really nice. So we're trying to do everything in one day now. So I had to kind of gather 3 days worth of wood in one day.
Tim went out in the canoe and found some spot which had a lot more wood than we have around the campsite, so he brought back a whole pile of wood.
So I canoed down and hiked back into the bush, gathered a whole bunch of wood.
I started sawing it. I got through about 4 trees and I sawed my finger. So you should try not to forget your first aid kit. I saw it as I was packing and I thought, I've never used it, but should put it in, and forgot to put it in. So fortunately I had some Kleenex and some duct tape and made my own little bandage. So yeah,
it's a lot of work, but that's the whole point of coming out too, is getting some exercise, getting some fresh air, and just enjoying everything out here.
So far it's been a great day. We'll see what the evening holds for us. It should be pretty good. It's supposed to cloud over tonight and we might get rain during the night, or hopefully it'll hold off at least until tomorrow. But here we are, back in the wilderness. It's great to be here. So, spaghetti for dinner. Pre-cooked in a baggie. Baggie will go inside this pot, which will have boiling water in it, and it will heat up and get nice and warm and yummy. Last night for me was quite cold. It definitely got below zero. I don't know how much below, but it was really, really cold. Because I'm in the hanging tent and I didn't bring what I bring with me when I was winter camping, all the things to go under me, I only had one sleeping pad. It made it very awkward for sleeping, and if you came off of that, you were on the cold bottom of the tent exposed to the air, so that was interesting. I was waiting for dawn to come because I thought, okay, it's got to get a little bit warmer when dawn breaks. As soon as it got light, it started to rain. Well, actually, it didn't rain. It sort of snow pelleted for a good while, and then that turned to rain. So it's a cold morning. We've got a fire going to keep warm, and yeah, we'll see what happens. These are the days where you wish it was sunny, but not much you can do about it. We're out here anyway. We'll make the best of it.
Time for a snowball fight.
How'd you sleep?
Oh, great. It was nice and toasty warm. Had no socks, no pants, no shirt, just nice and tucked into my sleeping bag. It actually didn't get windy last night, so it was nice and quiet. I slept right through the night. It was wonderful. A little bit kind of gray today, but we had a little snowball fight and cut up some wood to warm up and get some breakfast going.
So as we huddle here under our tarp to keep dry from the rain, we've got a fire going. We're cooking our breakfast. I'm boiling some water to boil up. I'm making an omelet in a baggie, so I'll put an egg in with this and mush it up and cook it. It's really yummy. Tim is also making an omelet, I believe, in the traditional way, in a frying pan. So I'm gonna have a nice hot breakfast. Normally the thunderbox is pretty well hidden from your campsite, but right here there's a clear line of sight right to the fire. So if you come here with a bunch of people, just be aware of that. Name a TV show on which people openly discuss their love lives.
Jerry Springer.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to embrace the suck.
Today was pretty much a full day of rain. I suspect Tim was a little bit more positive about it than I'm going to be, but
A little bit of rain today, +2, cold, but we still didn't do nothing. We went for a hike.
that was pretty good. It seemed to rain hardest when we were out on the hike.
We actually hiked up to the top of the hill. We saw the visitor center.
Then a little later in the afternoon, it changed from rain to this slushy sleet, I guess. So that was interesting. It got quite cold and then it got a little bit warmer. I mean, when I say a little bit, it's above zero. So, yeah, it's been a wet day. Expect the same thing tomorrow and the same thing on Tuesday when we leave. So it's it's been interesting.
It's been raining all day long. We had a brief break, probably, I don't know, 11 or 12 for like 10 minutes. Then it started to rain again and everything's wet up by the campfire, even under our tarp. So I decided to come and sit in the tent where at least I could be dry. But I've been holed up here for 4 hours. It hasn't stopped, so lots of fun. About 6:45 now on our last night. It's been a day full of rain, like almost non-stop all afternoon, but it stopped just a little while ago. It's actually the warmest it's been. It's about 11 degrees right now, which is nice. Just gave us enough of a break to have dinner, and hopefully it holds off a little bit longer. I looked at the weather forecast and it's supposed to have no rain until like about 9 o'clock tonight, so it'll be on and off rain throughout the night and then again tomorrow morning. So my plan is to wake up when it's light. If there's no rain, I'm getting out of bed and I'm packing everything up and sitting under the tarp, because I don't want to be packing up in the rain. That's the worst. So, but it's nice to get a bit of a break right now and at least get to enjoy our last evening here. Our last night here was the end of a really rainy day. Literally, it rained from morning until probably close to 6 or 7 o'clock. Then it stopped, and it stopped for a while, and it got windy. Now, I think it rained a little bit more during the night, but not that much. But thanks to that wind, it dried everything out. Even though there's a threat of rain today, and we've made it back before any rain came, thanks to the wind for drying everything out. Otherwise we would have been packing really, really wet gear. But despite the weather, it was a pretty good trip, actually. I can say that I enjoyed it.